All right, good morning and welcome to your Wednesday. It's March 12th and a beautiful day yesterday. All right, I'd like to know, what did you do yesterday with that day that felt like summer? We were talking 79, 80 degrees. We'll have to find out what we hit and if we broke a record, because a lot of people were out at golf courses. I saw a ton of people at the park. Everyone's been ready for this, haven't we? We did have a little bit of a rough winter, so I know we're all ready for spring, even though it doesn't officially begin until next Thursday. But this weather pattern that we have definitely feels like it. I'll give you the weather here in just a second. I've got some news you can use. And then today is a day to motivate you and to strengthen you. And we mean strengthen mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm down in our gym and I wanted to get back to those motivational moments with Monica, an opportunity to see how you can level up, how you can build your strength. So a lot of people will ask me, how do I get stronger? How do I not bulk up? How do I lean? And it's really interesting from a client standpoint what someone's looking for. So if I have an opportunity to have a bunch of people in a class that are all working on the same thing, well, that's great. But what happens when you have someone who's never trained before or someone who's at an advanced level? You've got to find something for everyone. So today is that show, something for everyone. And that's what I'm going to give you. And I want you to ask any questions. I want you to feel like this is a private training session for you. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay on point? How do you form a healthy habit? And how are you a role model? Really important here. How are you a role model to your children? Because remember, they're watching every single thing that you do. And that is my greatest role model, my mother. That is why I've always been so into health and fitness. And trust me when I tell you, I feel blessed for that, because there's a lot of people that don't have that. And I understand that. So you can find role models outside of your home. And I'm hoping that that's what our show is all about. So if you're just tuning in, put that seatbelt on, because we're ready for an incredible ride. It's the Real Monica Adams Show. I am your host, Monica Adams, and we're going to give you everything that you need to help inspire and motivate your day. Good morning to all of you that are signing on. I see you. Good morning, Julie and Jenny, Kathleen. Okay, so Jenny said the car said 76. My car said 79 yesterday. That was the high. If you are in our local area, we're giving you some forecast and news you can use. But the news you can use affects all of us all across the United States. If you're in another country, I'm always asking you, feel free to act like a little cub reporter and drop in the comments what impacts your life. What do you feel that the world is talking about that you'd like for us to talk about? And do that organically, candidly, that we just start addressing those things together. Linda, good morning. I've been cleaning up the flower beds and yard work the past 2 days. Love this weather. Well, that's ironic. Wait till you hear about the National Day of calendar, because it sounds like it's just for you. You see up above, I'm giving you some national news. So when we give you the news you can use, you can also look right up here. And I'm going to change that around between Fox News, New York Times, to CNN, to Yahoo Finance and Market Watch, so that you can get an idea of what's going on around our world. Good morning to you, Sean. Okay, this is what's going on in our immediate area. The forecast, 78 and a little mix of sun and clouds today. So tomorrow we are seeing some spot storms that are going to pop up more to the south. However, as we get into overnight and we go into Friday, that's the big weather watcher. And again, I know people sign on every second. If it's just outside of our area, just hang with me for just a second. We've got news you can use for everyone. 78, again, a mirrored temperature day from Wednesday to Thursday. Windy on Friday. Really want to watch. Could we have thunderstorms? Could they be strong? Could we have strong wind conditions, tornadoes? Beckett will be back on with us Friday morning and give us that full breakdown. But look, it's 80 degrees and definitely feeling like those spring storms starting to come in. So it's a watch your day, and we'll find out if it's going to be a dangerous one. St. Louis City SC, they are in action. On Saturday, it's going to be a windy day. By the way, it'll be interesting to see that ball fly around. 68. Sunday, 51. So we are dropping back down. And then how many of you are going to go to the Dogtown Parade, the Ancient Order of Hibernians? This morning, I actually was like, we need to just go down there and broadcast from the parade. Wouldn't that be fun? A lot of people also may be going to St. Pat's festivities over the weekend. So enjoy, because it looks like it's going to be beautiful. 74 on Tuesday. We do have have a slight chance of rain or a storm on Wednesday at 68. And spring officially beginning. It doesn't feel like it. 55, double nickels on Thursday when we actually kick off spring. Friday will be 63. So a little bit of an up and down pattern, but that's what it looks like if you are in our immediate area. Okay, welcome aboard. Again, I'll be looking on the multiple platforms that we're on for different comments. So Facebook and YouTube, where we started 2 years ago. We also added Instagram and X and Rumble and LinkedIn. Any of those platforms, tell your family and friends that's where we are. And if they would like to ask any questions or watch a show on positivity, that's what we're here for. So news you can use, and this is definitely not one for our immediate area only. This is for all of you. Watch what you're putting in your eyes. What are you talking about, Monica? Well, an alarming number of people are mistaking nail glue for eye drops. Yeah, a lot of times it has to do with something that goes viral on TikTok. And a woman posted a video and said that she was having her eyes washed out because she did this exact thing. She mistook her nail glue for eye drops, and that is obviously extremely dangerous. So now doctors are coming out and warning all of you about this painful mix-up, mistaking eyelash or nail glue for eye drops. So think about this, folks, as you get up in the morning and you're a little bleary-eyed and you are not, let's say maybe you have to put your glasses on and you're not paying attention. Read the labels out loud. Store the bottles. I think this is probably the most important thing. Store the bottles in a different location. Healthcare workers said they're seeing more and more patients who have made this major mistake. So it's not just a few people here and there. While it typically doesn't cause permanent damage, it's obviously going to be very painful and require medical attention. Again, this video that you may or may not have seen on TikTok was from a woman who made that mistake. She had more than 6 million views on this viral video. And she said she was, what'd I just say, half asleep and needed to put her antibiotic eye drops in, but she accidentally grabbed her Kiss nail glue. The woman posted the video from her hospital bed showing a tube that was rinsing out her eye. The lash and the nail glue bottles are often a similar size. They're a similar shape to those eye drop bottles, as you can see on the image I put here for you earlier. And if someone's distracted or you can't see well, the mistake could easily be made. If you do make the mistake, there are steps to follow to avoid the damage. So here's what you are going to do. Get to the sink, try and wash it out, try and loosen the lashes. There are times when you have to cut the lashes if they're glued together. Let the doctors do that. Times it's on the eye itself. The doctors say we have to gently kind of scrape it or peel it off. Ow, that sounds really bad. So it's rare to cause extreme permanent damage, but it can be very uncomfortable for not just the first couple of hours, but the first couple of days. So can we just be honest here? How many of you made a mistake before? Okay, as we do our news you can use, the thing we weren't able to do in the actual news stations is to do just this, to be honest and say, yep, raise my hand, I've done that. Now, I haven't done that, but I know I've probably picked up something before and used it, and it wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. People have done this with toothpaste and then are spitting things out, going like, that's not what I wanted. How many of you have done that before? Okay, let me know and just be honest. But if you've done this or you know somebody that's done this, how ridiculously dangerous. And don't feel bad though, because it can happen. Obviously, it didn't happen to just a few. It's happening to a lot of people. You might feel dumb, and that's okay. Feel free to tell the story, laugh about it once your eyes are better. All right, pharmacies. CVS is opening smaller stores that only have pharmacies. Where's this going to be? Well, they're opening these to try to adjust to a changing industry. CVS planning to open roughly a dozen stores this year that only have a pharmacy and are about half the size, actually, of the normal layout. The smaller format stores will have a full-service pharmacy as well as some over-the-counter products, but they will not have the part of the store that usually sells your snacks and your makeup and your cards and, all those other items. The new store format is one part of CVS's turnaround plans as it tries to adjust to a changing industry. The chain's moves have also included more than 1,000 store closures, thousands of layoffs. Drugstore chains with large retail sections have struggled to keep up with companies like Amazon. Yep, there's Amazon again. And Target. They've also had issues with theft, which has chipped away at profitability. So, of course, they have to at that point say, well, what are we going to do? We've got to shift gears. And this is what they're doing for you. Again, some of them only have in pharmacies, which I think might be a good thing for a lot of people saying, hey, look, that's all I need. snacks, etc. Are you a golf fan? Have you been watching the latest with Tiger Woods? Well, he says he ruptured his Achilles tendon, and this injury most likely is going to keep him out of the Masters, which is very unfortunate. He posted the development on his social media accounts without saying how long he expected to be out or any other details, except that the surgery went well. He had a less invasive surgery for this ruptured Achilles tendon yesterday. Again, keeping him out of the Masters leaves in question whether he can play in any other major championship the rest of the year. He said, and I quote, "As I begin to ramp up my own training and practice at home, I felt a sharp pain in my left Achilles, which was deemed to be ruptured. He had a minimally invasive tendon repair for a ruptured tendon that the doctor said went smoothly. Such surgeries, by the way, involve smaller incisions. The recovery time is a lot quicker. Most recoveries take at least a month before someone can even put weight on their foot. So don't expect to see him anytime soon, but we'll let you know when he can get back at it. Okay, there's a brewery, it's not Anheuser-Busch, that is selling crates with enough beer to last 4 years amid the Trump tariff turmoil, which a lot of people have been talking about. The 25% tariff, again, Canada, Mexico. We can see it in the stock market right now. So people are shifting gears, and this particular brewery just did that. Moosehead, now selling what it calls the presidential pack. It's a crate of 1,461 cans of Canadian lager. And this idea is to provide one beer per day for 4 years, or as the brewery says, just enough to get through a full presidential term. The pack cost $2,478, and it's only available to residents living in certain Canadian provinces. Now, they said we can't predict how the next 4 years will go, but considering how 2025 started, they have a feeling this many beers will come in handy. What do you think about that? Again, on Thursday, Trump posted 25% tariffs on some Canadian imports for a month, and it came and amid widespread fears of the economic fallout from a potential trade war. We're watching it on the stock market and how it is affecting us. And that was one of the things that I mentioned, that throughout the show, I will drop in a ticker that allows us to pay attention to what's happening in the stock market. So I would like to say, for all of you that are looking at your investments, if you were here right now, and this is where I want to eventually get our show in front of a live audience, how many of you are worried about what's going on? How many of you are excited because we're trying to take things back? And all of you that are buying your jackets, your t-shirts, your clothes, anything for your home, do you look at made in the USA? Or does that not even matter to you? It does matter to me. I get really excited, doing my design and wardrobe consulting. I'm excited when I can say, no, this particular fabric's from this fabric house, and it happens to be in the United States. But then you got people who say, well, I want something that's made in Italy. I want something that's made wherever, and at that point, it becomes, well, we're taking things away from the United States. And Donald Trump, our president, is saying we've got to take back our country. So it is a conundrum there, isn't it? Kind of a catch-22. It's hard because you know that our president is trying to get our economy back on track, or at least that's what we would hope. We voted him in, right? The majority of the world voted him in if you look at what happened at the polls. And so if that's the case, then we are putting in his hands to take care of our country. But just like anything, you've got to have a rough patch before all of a sudden you succeed. So when he was asked about a recession, though, that really set off alarms for people. And we watched it on what's happening here in the stock market. So I'll throw that in for you. We'll also check in on some national news for you. Speaking of the president, did you see this? Yes, President Trump buys Tesla to make a statement about the Musk backlash. Yesterday, he said he was buying a Tesla vehicle as he doubled down on his support of Musk, who has come under mounting scrutiny for leading the Trump administration's government cost initiatives. And he said, I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets. Number two, because Musk has devoted his energy and his life to doing this, and I think he's been treated unfairly. This is what Trump told reporters outside the White House yesterday afternoon. He delivered the remarks alongside Musk and his son just hours after he first announced on social media that he would buy a Tesla in support of the tech entrepreneur. Multiple Teslas, including the Cybertruck model, were parked just outside of the White House. Tesla stock has plummeted, by the way, more than 50% since late last year, suffered its largest drop in more than 4 years on Monday, following a string of protests at Tesla warehouses across the country, from demonstrators calling out Musk's leadership of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or a lot of you have heard Doge, and the mass layoffs, spending cuts associated with it. Again, I'm hoping that there's not the type of negativity that we saw leading into the ballot time, right? During everyone going to the polls, and we're hoping that we can correct ourselves, correct ourselves as a world, but also not have the negativity and the anger that we had between each other. So whatever side of the aisle we all fall on doesn't matter. It's just trying to get this country back together. And, again, this is what I always ask you. What do you think we need to do as a country, as a world, as the president, as Elon Musk, as human beings? What do we need to do to be able to do that? I know, Julie, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, maybe a good time to buy Tesla stock. And that's obviously what you do. If you don't, find someone, and maybe we need to bring somebody on, by the way, from a financial industry. I've been talking about that for a while. I've thought about doing a regular segment about our finances. Again, it's something that I've always asked, like, what is it that you want to see more of? Do we do that? Financial shows? Do we do insurance style shows? Do we do, from an insurance standpoint, it has to do with living wills and all the things about what we leave behind. These are things that maybe we drop into smaller segments, not maybe a full-blown show, but sometimes they may warrant that. So yes, Julie, when people want to be led of what do I do, when do I buy, this is the time. And you have to look at that, and that's how you play it. I don't do that. I leave all of that to my brother, who is a genius when it comes to the financial side. He's done that for me since I was a teenager. And thank you, Brian, by the way. I appreciate it so much. And then I diversify things a little bit, which is probably one of the best things that you can do, but you got to watch that. And if you don't have the time for it, then yes, make sure somebody's taking care of your money. But Julie, I'm glad that you dropped it out there, because that's what you would think. I'm not telling you to just rush out and do so, but when you see things plummet and you think maybe they're going to have this rebound, then yes, that's when you do it. So Julie, thanks for dropping in the comments. And that's to all of you. Feel free to drop whatever you want on any platform, because this is your show. I want to talk to you about it. We're going to get into our fitness in just a second. Here's your National Day of Calendar, and it's going to go right in line with what we are going to talk about today. So couple things. National Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day. And I have some of my favorites. In case some of you are struggling with food, reach out to me at info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and I would like to tell you who I trust in this industry. You saw one of them on my show, Jennifer McDaniel with McDaniel Nutrition Therapy. Love her. Rashonda Thornton is another one that I absolutely love, and she's with Better Vessel Health. And there's more in our area, but those two used to be on with us a lot on Fox 2, and I just absolutely love them. So shout out to Jen, Rashonda, anybody in the registered dietitian nutritionist industry. You are complete rock stars. It's also National Skin Barrier Day, National Working Moms Day. And you know what? Moms do not get any money, and they deserve it, don't they? Everything that they do from the moment that they wake up to the moment they try to get their eyes to close and have a restful sleep. We love you, mamas. It's also, here you go, this is for Linda and everybody else, National Plant a Flower Day, and it is National Girl Scout Day. So enjoying getting out and trying to have a green thumb. If you feel like you don't have a green thumb, by the way, then you might want to come to Hoffman Hillerman Nursery for our big mobile Monica coming up on March 26th. This is a 10 a.m. show, so I will not do a 7 o'clock show that morning unless I feel that you're struggling in life and that something's happening in the world and I need to pop on and be there for you. Then I may, but these days where we have multiple shows, I'm not going to probably do 7 o'clock show if I have a 10 o'clock show. And I need to get to Washington, Missouri, so that's quite a haul. They have these potting bar private classes for 2 and so much more. Cannot wait for this one, because again, it's just going to put me in the mood for spring. So it is March 26th. Mark it on your calendar, or look at our calendar of events at TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Under the calendar of events, you'll always know where we're going to be and where you can join us. All right, in sports news, did you see this? What the heck? Cardinals losing to the Marlins 12-5, and they're just coming off of losing to the Mets. That was an 8-0 score just 2 days ago. By the way, it is the Mets at the Cardinals again today. first pitch will be at 12:05. I hope they get that turned around very soon. Anybody big Cardinals fans out there? I haven't been to a game in a while. I know some of you diehards that have your season tickets. I like to go to a game. The hard thing for me is, especially when it's a gorgeous day, I just love to sit there with my family and friends, and I will look at the scoreboard and go, when did we score three? And then everybody will laugh. I mean, actually, a lot of the girlfriends that I'm with will say the same thing. Yeah, I didn't see that home run happen. Or when did he steal a base? Or why are there so many people on the bases when I didn't even hear the crack of the bat? Yeah, they talk about in life being present and focused, but I'm focusing on my friends and having a good time. And then there's something else going on at the same time. I'm very big into hockey, been a big fan since I was in grade school. So that typically doesn't get by me. I know. Well, it's also so unbelievably thunderous of the applause and the sound of the horn when they're scoring a goal. But I swear sometimes, you hear people clapping and it's just around you, the ambiance in the air at Busch Stadium, that I miss some of those. Do you do that? Jenny says, me, I love Cardinal games. Okay. Anybody else a big Cardinal fanatic? What's your favorite, by the way? Are you a big baseball fan, or are you a big hockey fan or a soccer fan? I am a huge St. Louis City SC fan. Jenny, love that day. Every mom needs that day. You deserve it. Everybody that is a mother needs to absolutely have their days celebrated on a daily basis. And we broke this down when I was in TV news, and it was all about what would, I'm going to do this as we go to break. What would you pay a mom? What would their salary be? Okay. And I will tell you, we used to break it down, and now obviously we're in a different economy, so it should be much higher. But when we did this, and I've been gone from Fox since 2000. So, okay, so let's just correct the market and look at the last 5 years of what it would look like. Let's break this down. So for all of you that are on right now, just throw out a number, and you literally don't have to say anything else. Just put a number. What do you think a mother's salary should be for everything that they do? And, we're talking about doing the laundry, cleaning the house, vacuuming, washing floors, making breakfast for you and your kids and your hubby or your spouse, partner, whatever, doing the drive to drop the kids off, picking them up from school, running all the errands, everything else that you mothers do throughout the day, doing the homework with the kids when they come home. So now you're playing the role of a teacher, and you're playing the role of a nurse when they're not feeling well. If you put all those together, what do you think that moms deserve for a salary if they were actually going to get paid? All right, let's pose that question before we get into this. How do you get stronger in life, mentally, physically, spiritually? We'll do all this when we return on The Real Monica Adams Show.
Carroll House Furniture homes look the best because of our free design service. Our designers please your taste.
Let's imagine your room with 50 brand name choices.
We'll create a 3D design with a 360 view for your room.
Free design services are just the beginning. Free 0% financing, fast free delivery and setup, and the guaranteed lowest prices in the country with no stipulations.
You'll get a perfect custom floor plan for your new dream room.
Carroll House Design, because you like nice things.
I just want to say I had an absolutely amazing time getting together with you and talking about how everybody can make a day just a little bit better than it was yesterday. You're doing tremendous things. I just love the spirit in which you want to help those around you and help your community. You've always been like that. What a great time, what a great show. I love our fellowship. I look forward to doing more with you in the future and checking out a few of these churches and seeing where our paths are going to cross and what kind of fun and entertainment and love we can bring to the table. I love this, and I think you're doing a killer job, so love you.
Well, that was Reed Lowe, for those of you that I was just mentioning. Are you a big hockey fan? Of course, former St. Louis Blues enforcer that I've been friends with for 3 decades now. We go way, way back. Just absolutely adore that big teddy bear. So, Luann, I love Cardinal games, definitely baseball. Jenny says priceless. I'll be so sad when it's over. I love being a mom. Well, you'll always be a mom, and it doesn't matter whether your babies are 5 years old, 15, 25, 35, they'll always be your baby. I ask that to my mom all the time. She will never not worry. She will never not be proud. You will always be that mom. Now, yes, it's true. Sometimes the kids may not want to be around you anymore. They get to a certain age, think they know everything, think you know nothing. But at some point, that will switch and they'll come back and go, I just need my mom, or I just need my dad. And then, of course, when they're gone, you say, I just wish I had my mom. I just wish I had my dad. Think about that. Be ever so present in the moment. I had a lot of discussions yesterday. Wow, yesterday was a tough day for me, if I'm going to be honest. Spiritually, mentally, not so much physically, but this is when you do the triangle of life and you put on top when you wake up in the morning what just wants you to jump out of bed, and it all can change. So then you go in the evening, and even if your spirit's broken and the world feels like it's against you and it's been a tough day, I ask you at night to find some gratitude and say, what is it that went right today? Because again, we have to celebrate the wins in life. So now I'm getting into the life coaching side of it for you. If you struggled yesterday, you're struggling this morning, because it's the ebb and flow of life. That yesterday could be amazing. You wake up this morning and everything feels like the world's against you. What do you do? What do you do when you see something happening with your child and you're struggling so much because you want to take their sadness and fear and anxiety away from them? What are they turning to? Are they being bullied at school? What's happening in the world that we feel everybody's against each other? We can only take care of ourselves first and foremost. Then we start to do our best. We don't try, we do our best at how everybody else perceives us around us, what we do for our children, our friends, our family, our coworkers. Be a kind human being. That is the greatest thing that you can do. The negativity and the anger and the deceit and gosh, so much turmoil that is in our world. I just asked the question why. I had an amazing afternoon with my friend Angela, and I don't know if she's tuned in this morning, but she and I met many years ago. She was going to come and join me, but it was so much that we felt like it was going to be rushed. And we both felt as we were walking away, like she's like, yeah, I can come to the house. I can see your new studio. I can do it virtually. And then she said, or I can come back in May. And I said, let's do that. Let's go back to the foundation of our friendship. When we met back in 2011, she is an incredible professional dancer. The woman, we've got to show videos of her. So that was the thing. I wasn't going to be able to get videos together that quickly. She and I sat there and we are so alike, kindred spirits to the nth degree. When we met, she swore that I was her sister from another mother. So many things and so many levels. And that's what you're looking for. You're not necessarily looking for someone who is identical to you, but you're looking for someone who wants the same for the world. And we both talked about struggles. We both talked about where life is that day and where we want it to go. And all of a sudden something that happens, which she and I will discuss when she's on, something that happens that suddenly takes somebody away from you, and you sit there and struggle with your faith. And you're like, God, why? Why would you put this person in my life to only take them away? Or at least it feels like taking them away. Do you struggle with that? Do you have that same thing happen to you? You feel like you've met the love of your life and suddenly the person's being transferred to a whole nother state? What do? Can you pick up your life and go with them? You know, my friend Kelsey Watts, who we had on about a year ago, follow her, by the way. What an incredible singer. She had to uproot her life, but was blessed to do so. I should say not had to, but got to uproot her life and move from Nashville, Tennessee to New York City. Yeah, she's on Broadway in Six, the musical. Her whole life has exploded. And so you think about the support of her husband moving along with her and uprooting their life. And can that happen? Or do you lose the person that you think is your soulmate? Does your child decide, I don't want to be in the city with you any longer and I'm moving, and how difficult that is? So we go back, we bring it back to moms again and all that you did. But ultimately, what are you doing? You're getting them ready for the world, right? It's hard to let go, but ultimately know that they'll always come back in some way, even if it's states or countries away. You have to let go of that leash because that is what someone did for you. Your mom and dad got you ready. The teachers got them ready. Whoever their role models were got them ready, hopefully ready enough to go and take on the world and attack the world. I'm so excited, by the way. In May, I'm going to be introducing you to some wonderful students at the University of Missouri, Columbia. That's right. Go Mizzou, M-I-Z-Z-O-U, Missouri. They are going to be joining us. And I've had an amazing response to an email that was sent out by someone that is one of their professors at Mizzou. And they were saying, I want to be a part of this show so much. And I just love the level of how they have researched what they're saying in their approach and their email to me. So whoever their mama and daddies are did a wonderful job in raising them and getting them ready for life, because so well written. Their resumes look incredible. The research they did on me and my show, I was super, super impressed. So I'm not going to say their names just yet because I want to make sure that it is secured. But it looks like right after Memorial Day, we've got one starting the Monday following Memorial Day. We have another one that will start, and I've got a meeting with another one today. We might have, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 new interns from Mizzou. And I say this all the time. If you have children that you would like to be a part of this show, reach out to me. If they are at a university here locally, or I don't care. Our first intern, Caroline, she was from this area, but went to school in New York at Syracuse and then went back to school. So I'm right now loading up summer interns, but I would like to start looking at the fall, because one of the greatest things, and I told this to my friend Angela yesterday, one of the greatest things that I can do in life is to teach, to consult, and to change your life, whether it's through our show or whether it's through life coaching, whether it's through personal training. I believe, as Scott Holman and I talked about yesterday, we don't know why we were born, but we're trying to figure out after that, why are we here? So there's the day we were born, and then it is the whole questioning of life of what's your purpose? I know my purpose. What about all of you? That's a question I've always asked. What about all of you? What is your purpose in life? Mine is to correct the negativity and the drama that is out there in the world. And the day that I'm no longer here on earth, I hope I made a powerful impact in doing just that. That is my focus and my purpose in life. Stephanie, I'm a huge hockey fan, she says. Just watched the high school hockey tournament in Minnesota. Love that. I wanted to be a mom, but settled for being an aunt, godmother, great aunt. Love all my nieces and nephews. Stephanie, you didn't settle. It is just the path of life that God chose for you. Let's see. Jenny, oh, I definitely know nothing. That's what the kids think. Reed Lowe is an amazing guy. You're right. Linda says, hard to put a price on doing things for those you love. It just doesn't feel right. So I agree. Priceless. Audra, the interns will have an amazing experience. Okay, girl, Audra, I love you. Audra has become a regular viewer of the show. And what I love is people have been writing me. I was up way beyond the time that I'm normally up last night because I was getting emails about yesterday's show. I was getting emails about the connection between Scott Holman and myself, and how many people asked if we could do a regular show together, if we could take the stage together. So many said that they could listen to us for hours. And I agree. I mean, the man has lived next door to me since 2016, and I had no idea that I had this priceless gem right next door to me. It was amazing. But Audra, she is another amazing person, came on the show thanks to Diane Isbell, wonderful woman in the fashion industry, and has been in behind the scenes saying, I want to help. I love you. And I'm telling you, every day God brings me someone like Brian Gaze, who helped with our studio, would not take a dime from me. I constantly said, what can I do? How can I pay you? So now we're taking them out to dinner. It's been my whole life that this is what people have done for me. They come to me and say, I don't want anything. I want to give back to you because of everything you've provided. And I thought, wow. And it overwhelms me sometimes because I was like, I mean, I can't hire the world to be a part of our team, but those type of things that happen make you then come back and say, okay, I've done good. I've done good in life because this is what people want to do. And again, it makes me want to cry sometimes of what happens. And Audra and Diane, those are two people that are literally viewers of the show that are feeling like they're part of our team from being employed. They're like, no, I just want to see this because this is my show and I want to tune in and I want to be a part of this. So Audra not only is lining up with Diane aspects of the new fashion and food segment we'll do on Fridays. Yes, that's breaking news, something very soon that we will be doing with that. But it's also that she said, what else can I do? And she reached out to Mizzou and other universities and boom, got the ball rolling. So Audra, thank you. It means the world. Jenny, interns are such a gift, and to have you with them is such a blessing for them. Thank you. It'll be a great time. Linda, we had to let go of our son after college in 2010. He moved to California. Then again, when he moved to France, that's got to be a hard one, in 2016. Miss him so much, it hurts some days. Yeah, without the physical ability to be right in front and give them a hug and have them in your own space. I got to say, though, for moms and dads today, with the technology we have, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Because now you can hop on and do this, video conferencing. things up and how it makes you more resilient and stronger, and you don't explode. Yeah, I've done that my whole life. But sometimes you feel like you push everything down. And I think that's dangerous because at some point, it does just completely come out of you. And people are like, where the heck did that come from? Well, I was trying to be so unbelievably resilient and it's there. So I think, although, Scott yesterday mentioned something about balance and he feels it's more counterbalance, I agree with that. We've got to find the counterbalance in life. So you don't fly off the handle and are an emotional wreck on a regular basis. If that's you, then yes, you've got to find the balance the other way of, whoa, I got to find some restraint here. The other side is, though, don't constantly, I don't like the word don't. That feels like more of a control word. Try not to, on a regular basis, get angry. Step away. Yesterday, we talked about nature, and I will absolutely be out on this today. Get out, sit out under a tree, take a walk, go for a hike, go to a park, by the way. I saw so many people at the park yesterday. Go to a park and just be out in nature and enjoy it. I mean, obviously on Friday, probably not the best day because we've got storms coming. So that might irritate you and anger you. But when you are in your space of anger, and if you stay right there, I'm talking from a physical standpoint, if you stay right where the anger and the drama and the negativity is happening, it's not going to get any better. So you've got to step away from it. Even if you say, this isn't going to happen, I will be back. And hopefully the person who's having the issue with you will understand that that's a very powerful thing, that you're not only trying to take care of you, but you're taking care of them as well. Because if not, fireworks, not in a good realm, fireworks will go off and anger will elevate and escalate. And I should say escalate. That's not a good thing. You walking away have to sometimes put earmuffs on and act like you're not hearing them because they might continue to shout words that will make you react. So I think the thing that we were talking about yesterday, the resilience of the restraint aspect is it's not that you're not listening, but you're not letting it seep into you, that poison and that anger and that drama and fakeness and whatever it is, bullying, whatever it is that's coming at you, you have to allow it to bounce off. You literally become a shield. And Jenny, who joined us, by the way, welcome, Jenny. Jenny is a part of our show now, and you will see Jenny dropping in comments over the coming days. She's learning. Michelle and her were working yesterday on getting her trained up so that she can start taking over more and more roles. She'll definitely be with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You'll see her out at some mobile Monicas to come. But yeah, she's at home with some young ones, and she is trying to mold their life, take care of them while taking care of herself. And she asked me, and this is what I'm going to do when we come back, how do you form a healthy habit as we now have transitioned? And some people hopefully feel that way, that we transition out of cold weather, we get into warmer weather. People feel like they're a little bit happier. The world's happier. People are smiling more. They're happier because, again, it's true. Seasonal affective disorder is a thing, and people are not in the best moods. They fly off the handle. They're wondering why. Well, the season, winter, doesn't make people overly happy. Always angry on the roads, driving, accidents galore. You're freezing, you're cold. Some people love winter, but for the majority of us that don't live and choose to live in a cold state, then you're just waiting for the sunshine to be here. You're waiting for the warmer weather. Get out in it and truly tell me how your spirit changes. So the healthy habit aspect that Jenny asked me to cover today, and I feel like I'm back in my TV days. This is exactly where I used to do my motivational moments with Monica. And I would ask all of you, what can I do for you? So this is what we are going to do for Jenny. And at the end of this, it's exactly what I will ask. What would you like for me to cover? Whether it's you mentally struggling, whether it's you faith-based, spiritually, emotionally, all the things that are in here, soulfully struggling, or physically struggling. So we're going to continue when we return with this motivation, but we're going to switch into healthy habits and how do you get stronger? So if you feel like you are just coasting along and you're going through your workouts and you're not seeing any changes, you have to shift. You have to mix it up. And I'm going to tell you the importance of having, this is organization, having what you need right next to you to keep you on point. That's next.
What's up, y'all? Steve Ewing over here, and I'm hanging out with Monica Adams on the Monica Adams Show. It was awesome to be able to come in here, talk about what we do, and really kind of have some positive things to say about our city, about St. Louis. All the really cool things happening here. Such a great environment here, and I love her energy, and I love the energy she puts into telling these stories about the really cool things happening in our city. Thanks, Monica, for having me on the show. This was amazing. I get to talk about all my good stuff, and you get to give them that energy, which I love. So thank you very much.
Create beautiful gardens and landscaped areas with everything you need at Hoffman Hillerman Nursery and Florist. A great selection of outdoor and indoor plants, gardening items, landscape materials, lawn and garden equipment, and much more. Hoffman Hillerman Nursery and Florist.
We're going to be there on March 26th, 10 o'clock in the morning. Would love to see you. I also want to tell you about the collaboration, if you haven't heard, that we're doing with Wine Girl. Okay, this is for you to show how much you love your wine. And we have another show, by the way, this afternoon, Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, 4 o'clock. And we are back with Chuck Gillentine with Defiance Ridge Vineyards. And he told me I'm going to love today. So I'm going to be proudly sporting, even though it's going to be warm. It'll be okay. I'm going to wear my Wine Girl sweatshirt that I bought. Aren't these cute? So they have Wine Girl. They have a really cool Veuve Cloquet, if you like champagne, or if you like bubbles, I should say, you will love that one. And the Veuve sweatshirt, it's super cute, white. It's got a hood on it. And then there's one that says Corks are for Quitters. They've got some brand new hats out. They do have, by the way, have that Corks are for Quitters hat. Dog toys, as you can see, tumblers. They've got purses. They've got tote bags. They even have socks. Something for everyone. And as I mentioned, it is a new collaboration that we have. And all you have to do is go to shopwinegirl.com, and then you put in the code. It is TheRealMonicaAdams, and you get 15% off. So I'm excited about it because we do our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday every Wednesday, whether it is us with a team having fun together, or it is the education and the fun together, that mixture in life, that counterbalance in life that we get a chance to do. So there you go. You can see it's 15% off at shopwinegirl.com. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'm telling you, you will absolutely love it. Okay, 743. Welcome back. This is an opportunity for you to know how to get stronger, how to get better in life. And so some people will ask a couple of things. One is, I'm stuck. I haven't made any changes. I'm getting on the scale, or I'm measuring. I'm looking at, how my clothes are fitting. So that's a good barometer for you, by the way. If you don't want to give power to the scale, and I'm not a big fan of that, by the way, I like to say, look, you don't need to know that you're gaining weight. You can feel it, right? You don't feel your best. Your clothes are not fitting the way you want them to, and you just feel uncomfortable in your own skin. I get it. I've been training clients since 1999. I've been involved in fitness myself since I was 15 years old, and I'll never stop it. It's an important part of my life. If it hasn't been, let's talk about this, because let's do the habit first. If it has not been your life and you feel that you're struggling physically, which also affects the mental and the spiritual side, but physically, you just can't seem to find your way. The healthy habit that you find is, first of all, what are you drawn to? Okay, so start making a list. When I talked yesterday about the science behind the messages that are in our brains, if they always just swirl around there and we never see them in action. So what do I mean by that? Writing it down, putting it on a board, having it around you, putting stickers that say positive things, or writing something. We used to tell people to take it and put it on their mirror or on their closet, or right where they go to get their toothpaste. It's something that you're doing, or maybe in the kitchen, right at the cabinet or on the refrigerator. So I want you to start doing that. Sticky notes. Now your kids and your husband and your wife, whatever, might say, what is all this everywhere? These are reminders for me to do me. I've got to take care of me first. And then they'll smile, and hopefully they won't take those stickers down, because if so, you'll put them right back up again. And I want you to keep doing it until they follow along and know that this is important to you, and then get on board with you. So usually what happens when I find an unhealthy person, it's usually everybody in that home has a tendency to also be unhealthy. Why? Because we always talk about how the 3 to 5 people in your circle all have a tendency to blend together unless you are so super strong, and you have to be. You are like the 1% in life. You're so super strong that you block away what all of the bad habits are, the negativity, the drama is. If your husband is not on board with your healthy lifestyle, let him do that. If your wife is not, let her do that. If your children aren't ready to listen to you yet, you could just keep dropping in all the help that you can possibly do. You can't be them, though. Obviously, when they're little kids, and this is the biggest thing that I've ever said that used to frustrate the heck out of me. Your children are not the ones going to the grocery store, okay? Some of you might get mad right now and say, I'm not listening. That's fine. You're not ready for this. But it's the cold, hard truth. Your children are not the ones going to the grocery store. So how are they eating unhealthy? Okay, there was a reason for the silence because I want you to let that sink in. And it's all I've ever said to every single parent that's ever told me that their child is overweight, that their child is bullied in school because they are 25 pounds overweight. And guess what happens? It's not getting better. 30 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight. I had a woman reach out to me the other day and she's like, Monica, I'm so worried about my child. Will you life coach her? The answer is yes. There are no people in life, too young or too old, that I want to help. And the good Lord above is going to continue to bring them to me. And that's all I want to do is, how can I help you? How can I help you form a habit? So if today is the day that you're going to finally get it, then you're going to do exactly what I'm asking you to do. And that is to believe in yourself and to know the intrinsic value that you have as a human being. That value is multiple levels. And I'm not talking monetary right now. I'm talking about the value of who you are as a human being and what you are providing to the world. That is so unbelievably important. Now, I want you to understand that your children are watching you. So if you are addicted to alcohol, how many times have we done stories and news over the years that most likely, depending on how many children you have, one of them is also going to become an alcoholic? You would think that they would want to go away from it because they absolutely thought it was disgusting and despised what you did, but it is familiar to them. And suddenly you follow down the same route. It's familiar. I don't want the habit of addiction. I want the habit of believing in yourself. So some of you right now might be at home crying. This might be really hitting home with you. And I'm glad. I need tough love sometimes. I need you to understand that you're never going to get better until you take the reins and say, enough is enough. Then you find, ready for it, an accountability partner. That could be someone who texts you to say, are you up? Checks on you an hour later, calls you. Okay, they're not emailing because that's an easy way out. So they are picking up the phone or they're coming over to your house and they're saying, let's go. And they're making a plan with you. We're going for a walk this morning. We are going on a hike. We're getting up a half hour earlier. So for those of you that say, well, I get up at this time and then it's just go, go, go from that point forward. If you want it bad enough, you know what you're going to do? You're going to set that alarm and you're going to get up an hour earlier. And your husband or your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your children, your dog, whoever's in the house is going to be like, well, this is different. This is a different pattern. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Your pattern has to change. Your life, up to this point is not what you want it to be. Then you got to make a change. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the weights here in just a second. How do you get stronger? How do you lose weight? How do you get leaner? How do you put muscle on? Every aspect of all of this has to be, something has to change. A lot of people don't like the word change. Something has to shift then. So if you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's go time and you take your shower and hopefully you're eating breakfast and then you're rushing off to get to work. Now you work from 7 to 3, 4, 5, whatever your hours happen to be. Then you come home and you're like, oh, well, I don't have time for myself because now I got to take care of the kids, or I'm going to sit down and just sit myself and plop myself in front of a TV. Well, I understand maybe needing a little downtime, whether it's reading a book or listening to some music or whatever. But now the beauty is you can throw some earbuds in and you can go for a walk. So put your tennis shoes on immediately. Have them in your bag. Go to the gym. Do this. Okay. I've said this over and over and over again. In this beautiful little thing, schedule you. And do not let anyone take that away from you. Obviously, there's extenuating circumstances, and there are things that can happen in life that will maybe here and there take that appointment away from you, but not on a regular basis. We're talking about here and there. If food is your problem, then you start cleaning out, and I do mean completely cleaning out the pantry, the refrigerator, of everything that does not serve you. So you start asking the questions. And maybe you do it with your children, because that's what I would love. Like, first of all, they're going to probably teach you some things that they're learning in school. Is this serving us? Snacks, carbohydrate driven, salty snacks, not good carbohydrates that fuel us. What's in our pantry? What's in our refrigerator? All the things that you think are not serving you well, why are they still there? Now, all of you that are going, well, but I paid for it and groceries are expensive, I'm just going to eat the rest of it and I'll start tomorrow. No, you won't. No, you won't. Tough love again. You won't, because I've heard the excuse over and over and over again. I'll just have a little bit of this. Well, then I'm gonna have a little bit more. Well, let's just eat it all because it's here, and then we're going to clean it out. And guess what that mentality is? Oh, I messed up for breakfast. Let's just ruin the rest of the day. Let's ruin the rest of the weekend. Let's start again on Monday. And then Monday comes around and the same thing happens. You go strong for a day. Or all of you New Year's resolutioners, you did it for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and you fell off. Trust me, this is it already. We're at March 12th. That normally happens by the second week of February. You've already given up on yourself. And I'm going to say that again. You have given up on you. Why? Why don't you believe in yourself enough? Why do you not think that you are worthy of your best healthy life? And some of you are like, oh, whatever, I don't want to be healthy. Okay, fine. Then this show isn't for you, because that's what I'm all about. The health of mind, the health of body, and the health of soul. That is how we are completely balanced in life. If you don't want any of that, then go ahead. Live a miserable, unhealthy life. And what do I mean by that? I am not sitting here saying that you've got to eat tuna and brown rice and broccoli. I think that's the mindset that some people have of, oh, are you saying that I just have to eat this? That's boring. I didn't say that, did I? I asked you to find you. And when I say finding a healthy physical lifestyle, I'm also not saying that you have to go to a gym. Did I ever say that? No. Did I inspire all of you right here in this space? Then I'm asking you to do the same thing in your space. Find your space. Is it inside? Or, like I heard Scott say yesterday, again, wonderful show. He'll be our audio podcast next Thursday. Scott Holman with 1313 Solutions, just an amazing human being. He said he doesn't like to go to a gym.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Create beautiful gardens and landscaped areas with everything you need at Hoffman Hillerman Nursery and Florist. A great selection of outdoor and indoor plants, gardening items, landscape materials, lawn and garden equipment, and much more. Hoffman Hillerman Nursery and Florist.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to be
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her.
I had so much fun coming here today and talking with Monica Adams. It was a blast. I love working with other women supporting women, being positive, energy, excitement for everything that you do in life. Wake up in the morning, get out of bed and say, what can I accomplish today? Professional, being a support system for other women is always a great thing. People judge your success in life in so many different ways, and so many people feel like money is the reason, you know, some person is successful. To me, I honestly think being happy is the key to success and being successful. Money can't buy happiness, but being around your family and your friends and enjoying the life that you have made for yourself is really what true happiness is, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Monica, for having me here today. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've done to help me with my business, and keep trucking on. Thank you so much.
Carroll House has the furniture you're dreaming of.
For big family gatherings, for entertaining friends, or just hanging out.
For working from home or resting after work.
For kids growing up, or young adults moving out.
Whether you're updating your first home, your next home, or your dream home.
Whatever the reason you're shopping, we have the furniture you're dreaming of at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things. Carroll House has the furniture